Yo, welcome back to another video. Today we are in the Open Master League and let's try to get some wins. So we're going to be using the Tapu Bulu paired with the Rhyperior and the Primarina in the back. So the different variant of this team here is using the Primarina with the waterfall version. So let's see if we're going to be able to display this team. We see a Tapu Lele though. After some Nature's Madness, we are going to be able to farm down with our Rhyperior. We see the next Tapu Bulu come in. So far they've only revealed Tapu family line. They go for the farm down. They are going to be able to get to the farm down. We're going to fire off a Nature's Madness right here. This is going to get some good neutral damage. And here goes the Waterfall Primarina. Obvious shield here. And then we get met with a Tyranitar again. Tyranitar is going to have to shield. So we do get their last shield. Now the question is, how much do we over farm here? Do we go for the farm down? Yes, we do. So we go for the farm down. We're going to catch a move, and that was the winning play because they had back-to-back ready, and now we have our own disarming voice for the KO. So GG's to our opponent, able to wiggle out of that situation. They had a Tyranitar double fairy team, I believe, and somehow, someway we were able to wiggle out of that situation. Ooh, interesting. Zamazenta running Ice Fang, dealing a lot of fast move pressure, but we're going to fight back with our Nature's Madness. They are able to survive that. That is crazy. Okay, so we're going to use our Primarina now, and we get met with the Xerneas. Xerneas is too tanky. Too tanky for all of our fairies. We're going to have to invest a shield. And then we're going to hope we survive. Barely survive, but it's forcing us to use energy here. Hydro Cannon does get used, takes out the Xerneas. Now we see the Palkia, they counter swap into the Zamazenta. We're gonna have to shield here. Ends up being the Crunch. They do a ton of damage to our Tapu Bulu. We're gonna go for the Nature's Madness, and we are able to get to another one. So this is gonna grab that shield. Do we have play here? We're gonna have to possibly catch, maybe. Oh no, they actually let a Mudslap sneak, and we survived that Aqua Tail, thankfully. So GG's to our opponent, able to wiggle out of that situation versus the Palkia in the back. Palkia had 2 shields heading into the end game, and we were able to somehow win that game. Alright, Tapu Bulu versus a Zygarde. Fantastic lead. They switch out into their Charm Primarina. So that's not necessarily the best case because we don't really have a great answer to it. So it looks like they are going to fire off the Hydro Cannon. We're going to have to go into the Rhyperior. This is going to get the shield or it's going to get the KO. That's pretty much what we want. Okay. We get the Primarina out of the way. We're going to go into the breaking swipe bonanza. Basically, we are just throwing as many breaking swipes as possible. They go for the bulldoze. Doesn't quite take us out, but they are under 50% health. And we see the Togekiss in the back. Togekiss versus our own fairy type. Let's see who's going to be able to win this game. So it looks like they have to use a move here. Ancient Power is used. They don't get the boost. And now we're going to be able to get to this Hydro Cannon. Hydro Cannon is barely not enough to take him out. And they GG's quit because Tapu Bulu versus the Zygarde running Bulldoze is just going to be a horrible situation. So we were able to win that game. Mainly because we were able to grab a shield from that Primarina and then head into the Primarina into the Rhyperior. Alright, pretty decent lead. They switch out into the Necrozma. We used the Primarina here. Oh, nice bait by our opponent. So we used the Primarina here because we didn't want this against the Palkia. Let's see if this is gonna be a good decision or not. Okay, so they did get us on that one right there. We didn't have the shield, and looks like they have the Landorus in the back. So in hindsight, the Primarina running Waterfall should have been used as our closer. But even Rhyperior into the Necrozma matchup is kind of bait dependent. Like you have to invest the shield eventually to potentially take it out. So I guess either way, the safe route is to go to the Rhyperior versus the Necrozma one shield and play it out that way. But GG's to our opponents. Well played by them. Yeah, especially since the Waterfall Primarina would have been way better against that Landorus. Alright, horrible lead. We're gonna switch out into the Rhyperior. They go into their Dialga. Interesting. We fire off the Breaking Swipe. It does get the debuff. Do we let this go? Yes, because we can barely survive it. And then we are able to farm down. That is huge because we are going to have energy to throw a Rock Wrecker back at this Ho-Oh. They have to shield or let this go. So it looks like they are going to be able to throw a move here. We're going to shield. Ends up being the Brave Burst, so great shield. And now we have the matchup we want. So we were able to flip the switch a little bit. Get our Tapu Bulu from a horrible Ho-Oh lead. Now we have it mashed up against this Kyogre, which is really, really good. We're going to allow them to throw some more charge or fast moves so that we can get the less farm for them. We're going to fire off this Nature's Madness. Basically, it's just there to debuff them, and so our waterfalls are just chunking away. We are going to grab a shield here. They're forced to use some energy. We're going to have to shield. Ends up being a Sacred Fire. We avoid the debuff, and now we're going to be able to farm them down. So GG's to our opponents, able to win that game with the Primarina Waterfall. So check out this team if you haven't already, and let us know if you enjoyed the video.